Today we're gonna finish painting our landscape picture. Now last time you were here, we started painting the big shapes, such as the sky and then our large hills. We went ahead and just painted right over our trees. So if you can kind of see the outlines of those objects and you want them to stand out a little more, you can go ahead and trace over them again. Or you don't need to trace over them if you think you can see them well enough, just so that you'll be ready to paint them today. Now the first thing we need to do is finish painting in any large shapes if you have not already done so. So I still have one hill that is left to paint, and I'm gonna do something a little bit fancy on this hill. I'm gonna add a little bit of texture to it. So first I'm gonna pick a color that I haven't really used yet, and I think I'm gonna choose a light purple because I haven't got light purple on my paper yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the lighter color, which is white, and fill that in. And paint right over the top of my tree. And then once I have my lightest color on, I can clean my brush, dry it off, and now I'm going to add some red. Mix it right in. I'm carefully staying inside the lines of my hills. And using a little dip of water to help blend my color. Now I've got a pink right now, which is kind of nice, but I thought that I wanted a purple, a lighter purple, so I need to add a little bit of blue into this. Just a tiny bit. That blue is very dark. Now I mentioned creating texture on this hill. So instead of just doing my nice long smooth brush strokes, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use some little upward motions to kind of make it look a little bit like grass is growing on this hill. And I might even get just a little more white to kind of highlight some of those little grass stems. And I can pull that grass up onto the hill above it, kind of like the grass is growing up over the green hill a little bit, because this purple hill is in front of my green hill in the background. So those grass blades would go in front of it. There, I've got a little texture going on. Now that all of my hills are painted in, it's time to move on to our trees. Now I want my trees to be a deep blue-green, just like some pine trees that I've seen in real life. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up a color of blue-green into my paint palette. Okay, I've got my yellow and my blue added, and now I'm going to get a big scoop of white and mix it together and see what I have so far. We'll see if I need to adjust it. Okay, I actually think I like that color to start with. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off a little bit of the extra. Now, I have always loved painting pine trees, and I have kind of a good trick for painting them. My grandma was actually an artist, and when I was a little girl, she taught me this trick for painting pine trees that I still use today. So I'm gonna show you guys this trick right now. I'm even gonna zoom in just a little bit so that you can see. Now, when you paint pine trees, what you wanna do is start up at the tip of your pine tree, the very tip top, and I'm going to swoop my brush stroke out. Start at the top and swoop to the other side. I'm gonna start at that same place again and swoop again a little bit below my first swoop. Swoop again, below. And I'm just gonna keep swooping all the way down my pine tree. And it makes it look like pine tree branches. Now sometimes to add a little bit of texture to my pine tree, I might get a little bit of a shadowy color like blue and kind of add in a few little extra swoops and kind of like so. Blending out those swoops. Now I'm going to do the same thing to my other trees. The last thing I want to show you how to do is some fluffy clouds. So I'm going to zoom in on this. And I'm going to dip my brush into some white paint. Just a little dip like so. Now wherever you want a cloud, you're going to start at the top of your cloud and you're going to bounce your brush. Bouncing your brush makes your cloud look fluffy. Now I'm going to slowly start moving my brush down. And as the paint kind of gets used up on my brush, my cloud is going to get lighter and fluffier and more transparent and kind of blend and fade into the sky. I'm going to do one more cloud over here. I'm going to get a tinier dip because I want this cloud to be a little smaller. Start at the top and bounce, bounce, bounce your brush. And that trick makes clouds that look pretty realistic. I might even get another little dip so that I can make another layer. There's another fluffy part of this cloud down here. There we go. When your trees and your clouds and your textured grassy areas are all painted in and you've used many color wheel colors, you're complete.